Happy Friday, everyone. So we are going to talk one more piece of our puzzle here of writing expressions, but just slightly more complex. So this first slide or two is not on your notes, but if you want to pause the video and get your digital notebook up so we can do that last slide for the week, please do so. You'll need that in just a moment, but if you want to just listen first and then get it up when you are at that part of the video, that's fine too. Just make sure you're filling in your notes. So our question today is, do parentheses matter? So when we're writing these expressions and when we're writing the phrases for these expressions, do they matter? So we're going to look at a number example and then we'll apply it to our algebraic expressions. So if I think about parentheses, let's look at this first one and solve with order of operations. So with order of operations, we always do parentheses first, right? So on this first expression, the 5, 10 plus 3 with parentheses, all that, I'm going to underline the 10 plus 3 because I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to write 5, and remember when it's next to the parentheses, that just means multiplication. So I'm just going to use my dot since I'm done with the parentheses. And it's 10 plus 3 to get 13. And so if I multiply 13 times 5, if you're not sure what that is off the top of your head, you could always do it off to the side, but we end up with 65. Okay, so now if these expressions were the same, then our answer should also be 65 for the other expression. So let's see if that's what we get. So with this expression, I've got multiplication and addition. I don't have parentheses. So in this case, I'm going to do 5 times 10 first because multiplication comes before addition, and I get 50. And then when I add the 3, I end up with 53. So look, we didn't get the same answer. So did those parentheses matter? Yes, they absolutely did, because we ended up not having the same answer. So here's the difference wording-wise. For this first expression, this is saying 5 times the sum of 10 and 3. So instead of just doing 5 times 10, we actually did 5 times whatever the sum was, which ended up being 13, right? We added first and took the sum of 10 and 3 to get 13 and then multiplied. Another way we could have actually done that is done 5 times 10 and then 5 times 3 and then add them. So it would have been 50 plus 15 to get 65 as well. So that's the slight difference, is the 5 is being multiplied to everything in parentheses, whereas over here all we're doing is 5 times 10 and then adding the 3 for that plus 3. So those are very different. So the wordings are different as well as the expressions are different. So you really want to make sure those parentheses do matter, and so it impacts the way we word those phrases. Let's look at one more here. Now this one doesn't have numbers in place of our variables, but let's see if it would apply here too. Okay, are these expressions the same? Well, no, because if I look at them set up, this is representing 3 times this entire difference of 8 minus 6, whereas this is just showing 3 times a and then minus 6. So even though we don't know what a is, this is very different expressions and phrasing. So here's the difference with our phrases for these expressions. This one's saying 3 times the difference of a number and 6, or you could say a and 6, however you want to word it. That's what this one's saying, is you're multiplying that 3 by the entire difference. So whatever is getting subtracted here, then you would multiply. Whereas over here, all you're doing is 3 times a number and then minus 6. So see how our phrases were different, just like our expressions were different? So let's write an example. So this is where you need your notebook and you need to type. So if you need to pause, please do that. So again, we have parentheses here and we don't here. So these two expressions are going to have different phrases. So over here, we are taking 5 times this entire sum. So we're going to say 5 times the sum of, so make sure you're typing this out. And if you need a pause, feel free. And then you can say y and 2. And I'm just using my little and sign, but if you want to type the word in, that's fine. Okay, 5 times the sum, not just 5 times y, but it's 5 times the sum. Okay, whereas over here, we are just doing 5 times y. And then you could use a lot of different adding words. You could say added to 2, more than 2, or you can simply just say plus 2. However you want to say it, but the difference is that we're just saying 5 times y versus over here we're saying 5 times the sum. Very different. So your phrases should look different too. Okay, so make sure you get those typed out on your notes. We're going to do a couple more. Now it says your turn, so if you want to challenge yourself and pause the video and type your answers out for these first, go ahead, or you can do them with me now. Your choice, okay? I'm having the students in person do them on their whiteboard, and then we're going to talk about it. So you decide. You can do it with me or try it on your own and then check. Okay? All right, so let's write our phrases for these. So here's this first one. I notice there's parentheses, so that should signal to you that you're going to need to say the sum of or the difference of. So since this is subtraction, we need the difference of. So we're going to say 5 times, okay, the difference of 9 and S. So give me a second to write that, and I'm sorry if my writing doesn't look very nice. So 5 times the difference of 9 and S. Okay, take some time to type that if you're doing that. If you need to pause, feel free. Okay, if I look at the next one, that looks very similar to what we just did. The only difference is it's addition now, so I'm going to say the sum instead of the difference, but I'm going to use the same format. So it's going to be 25 times, in this case, I'm going to say the sum of C and 4. Okay, and again, you can type the word and. I'm just using my little and symbol so that way I don't have to write it out. Okay, a couple more. Now this one, if you notice, does not have parentheses, so we don't need to say the sum of or the difference of or anything like that. So this one, we can just simply say 10 times n. Now if you want to get all fancy and say the product of 10 and n or something like that, you can, but you can keep it simple too, because these are more complex anyways. So this one's saying 10 times n, and then you can just say plus 52 or added to 52 or more than 52, whatever adding word you want to use. I'm going to keep mine simple because these are already a little bit complex, more than one thing's happening, but if you want to do more words, that's fine. Just don't lose track of what you're really trying to say. Last one here, so notice the 8 is on the other side. Well, actually, that doesn't matter because with multiplication, you can switch the order and it does not change what our answer would be. So I can still say 8 times, although technically I'm starting with the difference of. So you can still say 8 times the difference of 32 and V, but I'm going to make it actually correct. So I'm going to start by saying the difference. Give me a sec. The difference of 32 and V times 8. Oops. Oh, sorry. I got too close to the edge of my screen. Sorry about that. Go away. Oh, I can't get to go away. Sorry about this. There we go. The difference of 32 and V times 8. Okay, and I know oops, I did again. Okay, I know I didn't write my S, but you get the point. So you can say it either way, 8 times the difference of 32 and V, or the difference of 32 and V times 8. Okay, sorry about those technical difficulties. Your very last thing here is you have an exit card. So you will have a couple examples of what we did today, along with what we did yesterday with the writing expressions. And make sure you're getting extra math done. Please, please, please get that taken care of. Those are your only 2 tasks. I do want to give you a quick reminder that we do have an assessment coming up on Wednesday. We'll review on Monday. You're off on Tuesday because of the election day, but then Wednesday is our assessment. So just keep an eye out for that and be practicing, okay? Have a great day and let me know if you have any questions.